As I look through the code of Jewish law, with a massive volume of information that we have to follow as the Jewish people, I sometimes wonder, what would be the perspective of someone from the outside? Someone who's not well versed with the code of Jewish law. You know what? Here's what I think they'd find. If you take all of the code of Jewish law and you tear them out one page at a time, one page after the next, and you put them in the appropriate piles, here's what you'd find. 25% of the code of Jewish law focuses on relationships. Another 25% of the code of Jewish law focuses on money. Another 25% of the code of Jewish law focuses on food. And all of the rest of the code of Jewish law deals with every other law that we have within the Torah. What a fascinating approach, that the Torah caters to three of our greatest temptations: relationships, money, and food. But for this week, I'd like to focus on one topic in particular, and that is going to be food. As you all may well know, and if you don't, this is a great opportunity to learn. The volume of laws that we have as it relates to eating food is astronomical. We have laws about which animals are kosher. Do they chew their cud and have split hooves? And if it's a fish, does it have fins? Does it have scales? Maybe it's missing one of them. We have to make a blessing before we eat. We have to make a blessing after we eat. What a tremendously large volume of laws that apply to the world of food. But why? Why do we have so many laws in these areas? I want to teach you something so deep and so powerful about Judaism. Did you ever wonder, what does the word Torah actually mean? I went to day school and I didn't know the answer to this question until I was almost graduated from high school. You might think it means Bible, you might think it means the 5 books of Moses, but that's not even close to true. The word Torah means instructions. It's the person who's sitting above the maze who says, turn right here, turn left, don't go that way because you'll hit a dead end. Every single time in life that we have an area where there's a lot of temptation, we must make sure that we have enough rules to keep us safe from abusing that world of temptation. Therefore, in all three of these areas, as it relates to relationships and to money and to food, the Torah says these are areas of intense pleasure. There's a tremendous amount of enjoyment in eating. But if you don't temper yourself, if you don't balance things out, you'll become abusive as it relates to food. You'll eat too much or you'll eat too little. The Torah, in its infinite wisdom, taught us how to keep an even balance. Even more, it taught us how to maximize the pleasure of food in this world. You can eat now, but you can't eat tomorrow. That day might be a fast day. You can eat today, but if you had meat, you have to wait about 6 hours until you can have milk. Always a little bit of a push and a little bit of a pull. I'm pulled in, I want that food, but you have to wait. And that's why the Torah conquers 25% of the code of Jewish law when we talk about food. Food is an experience. That's what we have in this week's Parsha, in Parshat Shemini. It spends a lot of the literature in the Torah taking up a lot of real estate, a lot of verses and a lot of chapters, detailing which animals we can eat and which animals we cannot, all in an effort to temper, to balance, and to enable us to maximize our pleasure as it relates to food. Hopefully this is the beginning of our learning, the beginning of our experience of food as it relates to the spiritual side. And I give us all a bracha, an aspiration to aim for, that eating should be inherently awesome. It shouldn't only taste good, but it should actually be a spiritual experience. God made us enjoy the physical world, and we're supposed to enjoy it. But if you want to maximize it, I've got one word for you. It's called Torah. Use the guide. Use the expert, the manual that came along with the temptations. And that will lead you to a life of maximum enjoyment, both in the physical world and in the spiritual. Wishing you all an amazing Shabbos.